Welcome back, everyone. While we have seen our fair share of rain the past 24 hours in Reno, the East Coast is preparing for the possibility of Hurricane Joaquin.
That's right. The storm is now a Category 4 hurricane with 130-mile-per-hour winds. It's located just north of Cuba. It's moving at 6 miles per hour, and the forecast is still a difficult one, with some models taking it out to sea and others bringing it along the Virginia and New England coastline. It's a stormy situation we've never experienced along the West Coast. Channel 2's Angela Schilling joins us now live here in the studio with a closer look at why that is. Angela?
Yeah, Kristen, due to our cold ocean waters, it's hard for hurricanes to thrive along the California coast. And while we don't have a hurricane headed in our direction, there are places nearby that have seen hurricane force winds and flooding in years past. Flooding and gusty winds are both seen in northern Nevada as well as the Atlantic during hurricane season.
We get hurricane strength winds, so it's definitely anyone who goes into the backcountry needs to be aware of what the wind forecast is.
A Category 1 hurricane needs to have at least 74-mile-per-hour winds. A major hurricane is classified a Cat 3 or higher with winds in excess of 111. According to the National Weather Service, up in the hills, we've seen wind gusts in excess of 90 miles per hour before. However, a gust is much different than a sustained wind for several hours.
The hurricane can move slowly and have those sustained winds over such a long period of time that it can be so devastating.
Like wind or flash flooding events are oftentimes quicker than hurricanes.
Strongest storms were creating about an inch of rain in a half hour. The storm surge is often the most damaging part of a hurricane.
What protects us on the West Coast is our cold ocean waters. The cold water makes it hard for tropical storms to survive.
Hurricanes, they need at least 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Ocean temperatures, surface temperatures, for them to have enough energy.
This map shows the water temperatures along the California coast. Near San Diego, temperatures are in the upper 60s and drop to the lower 60s when you head farther north. Hurricanes are possible much farther south near Mexico. Our best chance to see any tropical moisture would be during the summer months, during our monsoon season.
Well, we don't get that much rain from our thunderstorms, but they happen much quicker.
And while we don't have a hurricane headed in our direction, our weather does affect the weather from the East Coast.
It's all related in the atmosphere. And what's going on the West Coast is definitely having an influence on that ridge and then that low pressure on the East Coast.
So while we might be thousands of miles apart, the weather plays a powerful role on either side of the country. And while it's extremely rare to have a hurricane make it past the California border, there is some data showing evidence of a hurricane that traveled offshore from San Diego about 150 years ago. Granted, it depends on who you talk to, whether the data is accurate or not. Covering the story, Angela Schilling, Channel 2 News.